Hello, fellow humans. My name is Ed,
And my name is Zach, and this is Fully Gay Radio.
the podcast that helps you feel more at homo. We're here to communicate, titillate, and educate,
Because community doesn't happen.
unless you make it. Alrighty, so today, Zach, not Ben. What's going on? Zach, welcome to the show. Thank you for agreeing to be a co-host. You are an ex-client or a current ongoing client of Brown Bear Coaching, but you've turned a lot of corners and had a brilliant time. I would say that we have a brilliant relationship, and I've really enjoyed the privilege of getting to be your coach for several months, and I look forward to where we go from here. What do you want the audience to know about you? Just the simple basics.
I am American, unfortunately, but whilst living here, I am gay, so that's good. And I live in Washington, D.C., which is also unfortunate, but I am gay, so that's good. I'm a sign language interpreter. I joined this like 4 months ago with you, Ed, and I've had a really eye-opening, really crazy, wild ride with it, and it's been really good. So I guess that's pretty much it overall, right? Unless you have something. Oh, I have ADHD, so enjoy that, everybody who's listening.
Yeah, thanks, Zach.
hmm
I I had three things I was going to say, and then you threw the ADHD grenade, and I was like, oh shit. So yes, apologies in advance, everybody. If we go around in a circle multiple times, just enjoy the ride. I do. I find Zach very entertaining, heart of gold, lovely, interesting, nerdy, strange guy, and that tickles me somewhere. If it's not your cup of tea, we understand. But same with me. Like, I'm a particularly weird, strange, interesting kind of guy. And if I'm not your cup of tea, get lost. I don't want to know you. Nah, stick around. Do what you want to do. All right, cool.
Well, I don't know what stories you have in your head right now, but I mean, I'm pretty great. So don't know why they wouldn't like
Well,
my ADHD. So
was that your professional segue to talking about how we have stories in our head?
I mean, honestly, it wasn't, but I guess,
You can
unintended things happen.
retroactively take it. Yeah,
Sure.
great. All right, Zach, thank you for introducing the weekly topic. Today, we're making community happen by talking about the fantasy or fantasies we live in our heads. How do you feel about this topic, Zach? How can we help the audience understand what we're talking about?
Well, it's a lot, I guess, when when I started your program, we do the lessons that you have, which are free, everybody who has not joined completely. Like, it's there. So I forget which one it's in. Is it Alive? No, it's Witnessing. Duh. It's one of the early ones, which is good. And from there, like noticing what's a story in my head, along with like what's a thought and feeling, and both of those can be a part of a story versus like a reality and like who you actually are. Um, it's really
Yeah, so
interesting to see.
things like people feeling like they're too fat or too thin or too gay or not gay enough, or road rage when you're like, no one respects me, the people are animals. These thoughts and these stories that we tell in our head that shape our perception of reality.
Right, yeah, because when I was thinking about quote unquote preparing for this podcast, aka thinking about it a lot, I was driving around as
AKA
I do.
drinking a beer.
While driving, yes, also that, making sure. Um, not really, everybody. That's not cool. So yeah, wink, wink.
Zach's making jokes,
But
everybody. Look out.
yes, I make jokes. But like I was driving around and I was like, God, this person is literally trying to piss me off, isn't it? And I was like, huh, wow, I'm getting mad because I'm telling myself that they're trying to fuck with me. And really the
Yeah,
person's just stupid, which that's
it's
irritating, but
common.
it doesn't have to be right on to like they're trying to ruin my life. And I was like, that is a story, which I didn't even realize. It's just a small little thing in the back of my head that's telling me
Yes.
a narrative without me even noticing it.
Yeah, you're taking it personally, even though that driver definitely doesn't know you. But you're jumping to the conclusion. We do this all the time. All of us do. Um, oh, this is about me, or they hate me, or why does this always happen to me, or what's wrong with me, or the world, or with people, or with Australia, America,
hmm
and these are all stories zooming around in our head all the time. many of them conscious, many more of them, I suspect, less than conscious. And a huge amount of the work that Zach was referring to in the free recorded lessons inside of fully gay school.com/gay point us to, there's a 40-minute one on witnessing that helps us to slow down, stop, sit, and begin to notice and understand and feel the stories that are spinning around inside of us, really contorting the way we understand reality. And Zach, why is this important? What areas of our lives might this affect?
What areas or all areas, really? Um, I mean,
I mean,
it.
not sleep. Sleep?
I mean, sometimes you're telling yourself a story that's playing in front of your eyeballs, right?
Constantly,
I don't
right?
know. Maybe,
I
maybe it
guess. I
is a
mean,
story.
do dreams have an agenda?
Sometimes they do. Isn't that a thing? Like if you have stress dreams or nightmares or whatever,
Yes.
your brain's processing what you've received during the day or whatever. Technically, that's
Yeah, I
why.
think
Like
so.
I had a reoccurring nightmare for like 8 years, like all throughout college and before or whatever. And I was just running through a house forever and ever because something was chasing me. So eventually I talked to somebody, my friend, blah, blah, blah. We talked about it. And then I was like, I'll just face the thing in there. And so I did, like actively in the dream. And it was like, well, if you don't, if because it was supposed to be a ghost. And I was like, well, if you don't have anything that you want me to help you with, then you got to get the fuck out. And then I never had the nightmare ever again because it was something that I've always been scared of the dark or whatever. And I think that was part of it. And
That's
so
awesome. That's so cool.
yeah.
That's a
Yeah. So it's
really good
like, oh, I always,
example of a part of you talking to another part of you and convincing you of something different.
right. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
and
it's like that was in my dream. So from the day to the dream. So
all right, then it definitely does touch all parts of our lives then. Work
hmm
life, personal life, internal world, relationships, sexy life, romantic life. The stories that we tell. He's not gonna like me, or there's too many bottoms, or maybe he has a boyfriend. I don't know. Whatever story is putting you off, just notice if a story is the thing that is getting in your way. I'm not going to perform at this job. They're going to fire me. It's not going to go well. AI is going to take my role anyway. Well, cool. If all of that is true, you're best just being pragmatic about it. As Zach said, like facing it and saying, well, what are the actual undeniable realities here that I can measure and assess? What would I like to do with that information? Which of this is me freaking me out, and which parts of me are freaking out about what I'm perceiving rather than what is necessarily here? I imagine all of us, this is a gay podcast show for gay men and queer people. Zach and I both identify as gay. Most of us, as something around 12-year-old boys, started to get sexy thoughts and feelings or romantic thoughts and feelings, and labeled them as wrong and bad because basically we were taught to. We said, this isn't what boys do. I didn't see this in Disney movies. I've heard that gays exist, but they're bad and they're bad for children. And so we get these feelings and we're like, nope. So we tell a story about the visceral experiences that we're having, and we label them and judge them as wrong, and therefore reject ourselves before we even know what's going on. Very common, right?
hmm
Relatable, Zach?
Oh, yeah, totally. I mean,
Yeah.
I was
How
three
long?
when I knew.
3?
Yeah.
Tell us
Red
that.
Power
How
Ranger and
how does
Tony
that
the
make
Tiger,
that?
honey.
Oh God, yes. A lot of people
Yeah.
wear red Power Ranger, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
that
assuming.
skin tight suit. Yeah, energetic, lively. Seems very healthy.
Yep.
uh,
Yeah,
mm.
totally.
Do you have a thing for latex today?
Actually, well, I guess no, not like a particular kink, but I don't
Okay.
dislike it. I mean, I like seeing it. So I won't say no.
Red Ranger still does it for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, yeah.
And something about Tony the Tiger. He just seemed real friendly, real huggable, real bouncy. You're like, oh,
Yeah,
I'd like
very
to be friends
huggable.
with you.
Mm-hmm.
Those early childhood
Yeah.
experiences of, I really want to be his best friend. And then later on in life, you're
Yeah.
like, no, that means you're gay.
Oh no, I knew I wanted him to hug me and kiss me. I knew that much at least.
Oh,
So
just
I was like, I
offer
don't
you
want
a
to be my
bowl of,
friend. I want him to love me. Yeah.
eat some frosted flakes
Yes, with
together.
some cereal.
Mm.
Yes.
So was three
Yeah.
hyperbole, or are you serious? You're like, you remember being three and you remember feeling gay?
Oh yeah. When I remember my first consciousness like swooped in. It's kind of weird and woo woo, but I
It's around
remember
three, right?
like I don't know, but it was my third birthday and they were singing really loud and I remember coming through the ceiling into my body and going, "You guys are loud." And then screaming for them to stop and then my grandmother going, "Well, that was rude."
Uh,
So uh from there, um yeah, I actually have a lot of shit that happened, but there was a boy, I think I was 4 and he was 3. We were in an apartment complex and we were in love and his name was also Zach, but he looked nothing like me, so it was not narcissistic, you know. So there's that too.
okay, so you guys
Yeah.
were little buddies, and you also sort of played body stuff with each other.
hmm Yeah, we said that we
Wow.
loved each other and we would kiss all the time and blah blah. And we got caught
Oh
and it was a
my
whole nightmare.
god.
So you know.
Oh, that is so precious. Wow. I haven't actually, I
Mhm.
speak to a lot of gay guys, as you know. I haven't heard a story quite like that. You did tell me previously though, it's coming back to me now that it was punished and that began your horrible, horrible cycle of gay shame. So, we'll put a pin in that one for now. We're always talking about gay shame, right? Um,
Yeah. Well, that can
that's
be
actually
another
really
topic for
precious.
another. Mm. Yeah, it was precious while it happened, and then we met again later. Like I think I
Did
was
you
in middle
talk?
school,
Yeah.
and I stayed over at his house, and we hung out and stuff, but we never did anything else. But we had this longing in our eyes, and like we'd look at each other, you know. Yeah, it was kind of
Oh,
sad, but I lost track of him. I have no idea where he is now. He was Mormon, so God knows he's probably off grid or whatever the fuck, you know.
maybe,
So.
or maybe he's fully healthy and recovered, and he's an ex-client of mine, and he's coming on the show right now. Welcome, Zach.
What? Zachary Isaac. Oh shit!
That'd be
If
fun, wouldn't
anybody can
it?
find him, it's literally there. Yeah, that would be great.
Oh, Zach the
But
gay
I miss
Mormon.
him. Yes, Zach the Gay
Should be
Mormon.
easy. Should be easy.
You would
Sweet.
think. Yeah.
All right, back to topic. Um,
hmm
these experiences may lead us to what I find is a very, very, very common gay experience that the gay men constantly don't think is common, and they constantly think it's unique to them. I can't tell you how many first consults and free consults I've had where ultimately the guy admits, like, I just don't feel like I belong anywhere. I don't belong with the
hmm
straights. I don't belong with the gays. I just don't feel like I belong. Um, and that was me as well. Very visceral for me. I literally told all my friends that. I told myself that. It was a whole story that I told myself. And today, I think it's hard for people to digest at first, but I'm like, you're gay, right? And they're like, yeah. I go, you are the gay community. So all of your experiences are legitimate, and you are experiencing the gay community because it's you, and it's also all the rest of
hmm
us. And whether or not it's a capital C community with any form of organization beyond a loose grouping of queers, or a tight grouping of queers, really, because being gay is pretty fucking distinctive. When you start being a man having sex with men, that's different to a straight man. It's pretty obvious. So it's a tight grouping of queers and different people. Um, but the idea that you don't belong may actually just be the result of this shame stuff. It just says, I am uniquely wrong or broken, and therefore I don't fit in. But what
hmm
if we all feel that way? That literally means we all have something really big in common, that we feel like we don't fit in. And that shame experience, universal. But yeah, maybe that's just a story we're telling ourselves in our head. And if you give my words a chance to percolate, dear listeners, you may discover you're not actually uniquely wrong or broken. You feel the way you feel, you have the thoughts that you have, you tell the stories that you do. But where's your evidence that you don't belong? I bet you're a human being. I bet you have thoughts and feelings. I bet you that they're not actually that different from other people's thoughts and feelings, believe it or not. The more we open up and get to know each other, the more we see similarities in each other and see ourselves telling stories, affecting our perception of ourselves and others. Um, Maybe let's call it unnecessarily or like inaccurately, because we have stories rampaging around unchecked. And they're the self that we believe in, but not necessarily the self that we are deep down inside. And so that sort of um, schism or that lack of self-alignment where your head speaks against your heart and your heart speaks against your head. For example, if you're trying to be a chaste straight Mormon and you're actually gay, your head and your heart are going to be out of alignment. So our stories, when they're out of alignment with who we are, can really cause a lot of turmoil and friction. It can make you doubt yourself, feel you don't belong, sap your confidence, make you overthink all the time. And these are very common symptoms and great reasons to come to fully gay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for listening. any thoughts, feelings, feedback on that bit, Zach?
Yeah, I mean, I was really trying not to cough while you were talking. So,
Just click the
but
mute button and
yes,
go for it.
I was searching for it. I couldn't find it quick enough. Anyway, but yes, like the disalignment of yourself, who you are, and what you're listening to. Like because a lot of the time, people who think that they're everybody in the fucking world, let's be honest, um, thinks they're having a soul experience, you know. And I felt the exact same way. Sometimes I still feel like that I don't fit in, you know. And I'm still working on that because I've been so isolated for the past several years that like going out to DC is like difficult for me or whatever. But I'm also kind of like really tired recently, so you know, whatever. But you can always find anything to prove to yourself that what your story is true. You can seek any evidence out and you will find the evidence, you know.
Yeah.
But and you can convince yourself how strong it is or not. And that's where your perception in, because there is such a thing as like, you know, your intuition where something actually is off and you know that it's off, but people are like say gaslighting or whatever, and they're actually just being fucking liars and they're cheating on you or whatever the fuck, you know. And then you do know kind of thing. That's different than like I know that um this person will cheat on me because I am terrible, because I know that I'm not worth it, so that you will either self-fulfill your prophecy by doing shit, and so then you'll find your evidence because you're doing shit to make the evidence, you know.
Self-sabotage,
um
right? Yeah.
yeah, so that's like a big thing, and I've done that a million times.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Thanks for sharing, man. That's actually
I've
really
done.
powerful and really helpful. There must be so many guys that when they eventually hear this podcast, I don't know when that will be,
Mm.
but we'll get 100 within a week and a million, who knows when.
Woo-hoo.
We'll get there, man. There must be so many guys that are like, oh, fuck, that's not just a me thing, like the
Mm.
self-sabotaging and the like creating
Yeah.
the evidence that makes the narrative make sense, because we feel unstable, we feel not okay, we feel anxious and as if we're like not safe when our perception of the world doesn't line up with the evidence that we see in the world. So if you,
Hmm.
exactly as you said, I really like the way you said that, Zach. If you believe, if you quote unquote know that you're not worth it, you're not lovable, shame, 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 hello gays,
Hmm.
um, you will make it happen so that your version of the world makes sense. It's like stalking. I just saw the movie Obsession. It's this awesome new horror movie that's out at the moment. I love it. If anyone can stomach horror, I strongly recommend it. But yeah, she's forced into loving this guy more than anyone else in the world. And so the mental gymnastics and the fuckery and the emotions and the insanity that spews out of needing the world to reflect the way you believe or feel it to be, when that is like a version of you, a construction of you, a story of you. I'm a loser, I'm too fat, I'm too gay, I don't fit in, I'm not right, I'm not good enough, no one will love me, I don't belong, things like that. Yeah, you're going to make it happen. And those are the crippling personal cycles and frustrations that I love to help people come aware of and conquer them, from mild to wild, because it is possible in a short amount of time. And this works.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Become aware of it, accept things as they are, stop believing and just start existing and feeling, and then choose to love and respect yourself unconditionally and support and love yourself so that you can become who you truly want to be. Maybe a very effective remedy. Witness, accept, align. Seem to work pretty good for you, hey, Zach?
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. It
Did you
mhm.
do you have a story about world pride and feeling like an outcast amongst it, like a thousand gays?
Yeah, well, it's funny because I would so I spent a fuck ton of money. It was like over $400, right? And I was on the first round of like the list or whatever for people to get the tickets because I sat there and I waited for it to refresh, whatever. And it's like a year in advance at least, you know? And so I pay it throughout the year, la 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 la. We get to it, and then I don't go at all. It did not show up to World Pride at all. And it was in DC.
Oh,
I know. I was so convinced that I was too ugly or that I'm too fat or that people just would not like me or that I'd ruin somebody's time or anything. I found any excuse to say that it would work out poorly in my favor, because I'm not like the other gays, because I'm just weird. Also, I'm probably autistic, everybody. Still looking into that one. But also that's fine if you're autistic. It like also, I guess,
this
with
is
the
a
stories
great.
and stuff that I haven't.
Oh,
Go on.
was there
You
a
go
key
ahead.
point you wanted to make, or did you want me to reflect on what you're sharing?
Well, I was going to say that because I noticed my differences or whatever with people, even though, but it's like I noticed that there's a difference there, right? Like with ADHD or potentially autism. But then I've made that like, but I didn't know specifically it was that, right? But then also me being gay, but also me being, nerdy and this and this and this, and me not being a big raver or like, doing Molly all the time or whatever.
Party guy. I hear that
This
one
apparently,
so often. Like 100
yeah,
gay
and it's
dudes are
also
like
like,
waiting in a line to come and tell me, Ed, I'm not a party gay. And it's like, dude, you
right.
have no idea how many people tell me this. And you think that means you don't fit in? I guarantee you it means you
Right.
do fit in because everyone is saying this to me.
Right, literally. And also everybody's party gay. You go to the party, you're a party gay. Yay. Like have fun at the party. Like
I like the
you know.
occasional party. I absolutely deny
Yeah.
being a party gay. I'd describe a party
Yeah.
gay as someone
Well,
who
I
like
mean,
just
like,
goes to parties because they want to feel happy, and when they can lose
yes.
themselves in drunk or drink and tell themselves a story that this is what gays do, and so now you're a fulfilled belonging, a good gay, then they feel good for like a few hours, but ultimately it comes crashing down because their sense of love and value in themselves is based on their transient feelings. I need to be kissed or fondled or be having sex with someone or be on drugs or high or in the middle of music to prove that I'm a success or I'm lovable or I'm worthy. And that's so fragile and so transient that it's a real can be a very negative cycle, being addicted to parties in that sense. So I would that's
Yeah.
what I call a party gay. Can I go to a rave and have a great fucking time and have several beers and maybe some recreational drugs? Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
but I don't think that makes me a party gay. I yeah, but we all know party
Well,
gays
I was
or the
I was
concept of party
claiming it.
gays.
Yes. Well, everybody knows well, I don't even think they're called party gays, aren't they? They're like whatever, not rave game. Anyway, but like I meant that as like a kind of reclaiming it, being like we can all have a party and be gays, or whatever the fuck. But yeah, you're right. And also, I'm like, oh, I guess you described me when I was younger. That was literally me.
Oh, you were
Except I
chasing
was never addicted to going yeah, I never went to the like constantly going to like dance shit or whatever, because I was like, I'm a bad dancer. So that one, man, just keep that story right there. I'm just cherry picking, sir. So I couldn't go to
back on
those.
stories. Back on
Yeah.
stories.
Uh,
The story you shared earlier sounded to me like a huge act of like self-preservation. You got these tickets. You're like, I'm going to go to this. This is important to me. I want this. And then ultimately,
mm-hmm.
you're like, to prevent the creation of evidence that I am in fact a loser or wrong or too fat or too gay or too autistic or too ADD or something, or no one will like me. That evidence cannot
Mm-hmm.
occur to me if I don't expose myself at the event. If I don't go to
Yep.
World Pride, I can't confirm that I'm a loser. And so I'll just avoid it.
Yep. That's pretty much nail
That's
on the
how
head.
that's how strongly our stories are like massively coercing our behavior, our emotions, and probably spinning off into other stories. And then we'll make
Mm-hmm.
excuses and explanations about everything. it's when we get into this kind of zone that I start running into gays who turn to like psychology or attachment theory or other like
Hmm.
intellectual pursuits of trying to understand the nature of quote unquote human problems. So they think they can get mastery over them. And it's like, nah, dude, just stop trying so hard. And it's like, stop trying to grasp for control of something that maybe doesn't need fixing, correcting, or controlling. What if you could just take a deep breath, go to World Pride? If no one likes you, don't turn it into a story. If everyone likes you, don't turn it into a story, and just do whatever you want to do. Really hard, right? But possible, but really hard. And that may be the answer to all of our quote unquote human problems. They're all just mind derived upsetnesses that says something is bad or wrong or is unacceptable. I doubt it. I doubt it's you. I doubt it's uniquely you, Zach, or
I don't
listeners.
know. Yeah.
One of the other hard ones that you and me, Zach, have had a few little chats about is the sexy things I want to do are forbidden or wrong. You know, you mentioned Tony the Tiger. Finding
Of course.
cartoons attractive or love objects or like the furry community or furry porn and stuff. Yeah, I felt a lot of shame and bad about myself for something that was actually extremely precious to me. I couldn't see
Mm.
myself or my feelings or like my masculine gayness in society until I found like some honestly furry porn and also Japanese like manga porn of like buff,
Oh, Bara.
not ripped, but like yeah, bara manga, which is a English they're actually called gay komi in Japanese, but in English, if you search bara manga, you get a lot of results in forums and Tumblrs, unless Tumblr kicked us off. But yeah, those stuff all mixed together, I was like, damn, like you can be gay and like tough, confident, aggressive, direct. And it's not that I'm super in love with that. It's that I never felt that I identified with like the au fait, shy, twinky, girly, glittery stuff, which I could see in other media. And then I found all this porn and I was like, oh, fuck, there must be tons of guys who feel the way I do because they've created it on this page. So there's this incredible juxtaposition of something that made me feel so seen and understood and belonging was also deeply quote unquote wrong and forbidden, you know, because it's cartoons or because it's like humanoid animal creatures or uh, yeah, also all sorts of shit. And yep, more of the same. Did you have anything in
Yeah.
particular that you wanted to ask or share on that topic, Zach?
I mean, sure. Well, I was thinking too, when you said girly, and I was like, rude. Don't you mean fierce? Okay,
Hmm.
girl. But
Mhm. Mhm.
that's this gender shit. Um, I just remembered a story actually. So little, it's not off topic. It's actually completely on topic. So I went to Japan where my dad fucked it up. Blah 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 blah. Whatever. Day one screaming at me that he didn't want me to be gay in like a Japanese restaurant, but I was the one not respecting culture. Long story short. So I ended up getting on Grinder and meeting this guy Hideki, and we're still friends. I haven't talked to him in a minute, but like Instagram friends, we keep track of each other. Um, and so he took me out to Nichome, and there we went to some little conveni or whatever, and they had like these magazines or whatever, and one of them had, and I still have them. It's like this tiger dude. And I was like, of course, tiger, Tony Tiger, man. He got me smitten. Anyway, but it's like a tiger dude and some dude, and it's just a comic book, like little magazine. I got the first two volumes, and I was like, "Oh, I kind of like that. Well, I should buy it." And he was like, "What? What are you looking at?" And I was like, "This." And he was like, "Yeah, go ahead and get it." Like he did not give a fuck. I was like, "People don't care about that," and he's like, "People in
Yeah.
Japan don't give a shit. Go ahead. We buy panties that are used." And I was like, "Oh, I guess you're right." You know, you know. It's so interesting to have like that kind of juxtaposition, like being there in Japan, where it's like, yeah, whatever, draw whatever, and like whatever the fuck, and up here it's like, because I think cartoons are associated with children, and then we're told that we're wrong as children to like to be gay, and then we're told that that means that we're going to be pedophiles, even though statistically we're like the least likely. And so it's something that's really, I think that's what's attached with the shame, because it's like it's there. It's funny because you're like, oh, and I realized that there must be a market for this or whatever, and I was like, oh, somehow it's just appeared magically in front of me, and I should shame myself more. It's like, what? Literally, that means somebody made it. It didn't even occur to me forever. That kind of stuff. So funny. The gay
We,
shame and the Christian shame. They go on.
yes. We're gonna
Keep
have
me
to
on track.
compare Japanese Tiger Plus guy magazine booklets because I've got one as well. Does he go into like a Frankenstein's lair sort of experiment place? There's like this
Oh,
evil. Do you remember the story
no, I don't
inside?
think so.
I've
No,
got
I've
one.
got it over there. I don't want to make
I
a bunch of sound though.
I can't wait till we meet up and we can share all our comics and shit. I've got like 40, 50. Yeah, love them.
Ooh,
Um, I have so many things to say, but you go so fast. Nichome, of
sorry.
course, is the gay district of Tokyo. I'm super glad that you still have a friend that you check in with. Let's
Mm.
not. So Japan, in terms of like individual interests, is extremely permissive and free in like a very private way. They're very good about privacy and individual freedoms, but in terms of like homosexual acceptance, they're
Yeah,
actually
no.
woefully underinformed and culturally sort of generally turn a blind eye or say no to
Mm-hmm.
homosexuality. Tokyo's leading the charge. Like many wards of Tokyo have approved same-sex
Mm-hmm.
unions and stuff, and there are lots of gay lawyers in Japan trying to change
I think
things, and
Shinjuku.
there are pride movements and stuff. Yeah, but overall, still a lot of gay guys who are Japanese find it kind of normal to say, don't ask to be my boyfriend, don't ask to live with me, don't ask to get married. we,
Mm-hmm.
we can't overtly be who we are, but we can quietly do tons of gay shit. And a lot of they complain. I actually know a fair bit about Japan. I lived there a couple of years, and also there's a wonderful YouTube channel called Tokyo Bottoms. Those guys are pretty cool. I like them. I love their channel. Well done to them. But yeah, they do a great job of illustrating that Japanese guys, a lot of them, Japanese gay guys, are like, cool, I'm going to be gay, but I'm going to do it in the closet. I'm not going to do it publicly. And so I'm never going to be boyfriends with a white guy because he's going to ask me to get married and be public, and I don't want to do that.
It's a
So
good
yeah,
thing I'm
Japan.
avoidant of marriage.
Quixotic and different. And in some ways a gay paradise, and in some ways a gay nightmare.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, the other one.
right.
The
Literally.
children thing. Man, is this our deepest gay shame? Is this our deepest gay fear that we are actually all pedophiles? Like, think I've revealed on this podcast before. I do like a bit of the old daddy kind of role play in the bedroom with an adult man, and I do
Mm-hmm.
find it very sexy. I like doing it with people who like doing it. Um, I
Me
absolutely know
too.
for a fact that that's like borderline universal across the entire fucking human race, not just gays, but like girls who like
Mm.
to pretend to be girls and men who like to pretend to be boys. There's a whole genre, you know, that genre online of like and it's for heterosexual men of like really busty, really motherly mothers, and they pretend that they're like a
Mm.
younger
Mm-hmm.
boy.
Oh, MILF.
And they find it.
Mm-hmm.
What is it?
MILF,
Oh, it
right?
exists.
Kind of thing.
MILF is just
Yeah.
mums, but this one goes further. There's like a genre. Of course, I found it and saw it in Japan. It was not too far away from the comics
Ah,
that I was
naturally.
reading. But yeah, it's like you as the male reader, I identify as like significantly younger than this mother figure, so that you can be like, you can sit on her titties and feel safe, and she's going to nurture you and take care of you and love you. So yeah, I'm just pointing at these feelings are actually very, 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 very common amongst like the general population of human beings, but we shame and shun them so hard, which very understandably, in the name of protecting children, don't have a problem with that, do have a
Mm-hmm.
problem with us
Mm-hmm.
getting terrified of our own feelings and of ourselves as if we want to hurt people. I don't think we want to hurt people. Being gay doesn't equal pedophile, having sort of kinky interests in playing around, nurturing or being nurtured or taken care of still doesn't make you a pedophile, or doesn't make you a sex offender. But yeah, we can terrorize ourselves, and especially guys who work with children. There are guys in Fully Gay that are in primary schools, middle schools, high schools, and they do, like, I can sort of see the whites of their eyes a little bit when they talk about the super dread fear of the notion that because I'm a man, that's a man thing, and then there's the gay thing as well, that we're like doubly afraid that people are judging us or worried about us, that we're a closet hiding pedo about to, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
What else can I
Me.
say? They do exist. Some people are into it. Some people do follow through. But yeah, the generalized terror that we experience internally about these things, I don't think we talk about it a lot, but I think it's pretty damn real.
Yeah. I've never talked about like my giant fear. Yes, everybody, I've worked in schools as an interpreter, and I particularly worked in
Oh
pre-K,
my
and the
god!
children love me. So, and I love them so much. And so I was like, oh God, I like children now. What does that mean? And I was like,
Right?
it means that you care about kids and you don't, it's funny. Oh, and stories. So like, I was like, I hate children, period. Also, children are annoying. We all do know this. That is true, especially when parents aren't, doing shit like they should be. But like in public, but why do I hate children? Why am I so vehemently against them? Is it because I'm like, well, I'm never allowed to have kids, blah, 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 something like that. But I think it's because I'm so petrified of if I ever get around kids and like them, then like, what if I actually am a pedophile? So that story of like, well, you
Yeah.
are one. And I was like, well, I'm not around them, so I can't prove that I am or I am not. Well, but I'm not. I'm not. I think I'm not. Maybe the world's right. Kind of fear. And it's like, oh my God. So then I was like, because, they would hug me all the time and play with me. And they're so short. So sometimes they'd accidentally bop me in the balls or whatever. And I'm like, oh my God,
Yep.
this is it. I'm going to go to jail. And I'm like, but
It's
they hit
over.
you. And also, and it's like, that's so crazy. So it caused a lot of internal shit. And then
Yeah.
led to whatever,
Yeah.
which is in our interview. But
Yeah.
But it led
Yep.
to me not being in the job. I guess I should be clear about that. Didn't lead to anything bad. So, but people, identifying so strongly with like, see, I'm not a pedophile, yay, and everybody at the school loves me, yay, and now I know I'm not a pedophile, woohoo. And so I was like, and now this is my identity. I work at this school. This is my life now. This is my sole purpose because I realized I wasn't a pedophile. So this is my life, and that's only who I am now, kind of thing. So it was kind of
Right.
interesting. And then I
Yeah.
get destroyed.
And
Then
that led
I
to its own
got
drama
told
because you
not to come
told a
back.
new story.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes, your sense of losing that, you like clung onto it. You're like, I'm a good person, thank Jesus, which is ironic
yeah,
considering that a lot of this is your church
yeah,
shame, right? Church and societal shame,
yeah.
which in America
Hmm.
is pretty the same thing. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh God. And then so you attach to it and you love that about yourself and like, I've found happiness in my belonging in my safe space, and then it got taken away from you, and you're like, oh God, what's the point?
Yeah,
Yup.
yeah, literally.
Mm. Hey, one more key topic I really wanted us to do was who do people want to be versus who do I really want to be? I think a lot of us are chasing quote unquote success. A lot of gays well, this is such a stereotype and maybe it's boring, but like we've all got our flavor of this. Oh, I need to have a six pack. I need to go to the parties. I need to have 3 boyfriends. I need to have lots of sex and take lots of drugs and then go to my high powered job where I'm witty and well dressed. And people sort of, one or several of those or other things, people are aiming to get something, achieve something, prove something because they think what they're experiencing is they want quote unquote evidence that they are good and valuable and worthy and lovable. And
Mhm.
so this is the who do people want me to be? What does the world want me to be? And am I chasing dreams that really are other people's suggestions of what is quote unquote good? Versus what is my heart of hearts and my soul, if I have one, and my whole self? What is it asking for, calling for? What does it find meaningful and important and nourishing? These things can be wildly divergent, and this goes to like self alignment. And I guess I just wanted to call it out.
Mhm.
Your previous story is like you fell in love so hard with the notion that you are a good person, even though not being a pedophile out of school is a low bar. I would say, to
Yeah,
to clear,
literally.
to declare yourself a good person. But the belief in whether you're good
I
or
also
not
felt like
is
such a
and of
bad person for
itself
so long.
ultimately right. Yeah,
Sorry.
but both of these are stories.
Mhm.
And so if we drop stories and stopped chasing an identity and stopped chasing quote unquote evidence, what do we have left? Is there feelings left? Is there intuition left? Do you have a quote unquote soul? What do you really want to be? What really matters to you? What do you really want? And if you, dear listener, are feeling conflicted about that, then I'm glad that I brought it up. So I can really shake you about that and go, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? If you're depressed, anxious, self doubting, fearful, playing small, lacking confidence, probably you are still chasing things you think are quote unquote good because you're still willing to judge yourself, probably in response to societal shame. Um, yep. I feel like I'm laying it all out today instead of telling stories. But is that relatable, Zach? Is that something we did together? Do you have a story around that?
Well, I mean, who doesn't? I've got so many. But even within what you're saying, it's like I'm like, have a thought. You tell me if I'm completely correct or super correct. But um I was thinking like I was like, with seeking the evidence and like us when we're seeking evidence to prove to our quote unquote to ourselves, I don't know if we actually really are because we're seeking the evidence and we're trying to be successful in the way of people say it's for themselves, right? But really, you're seeking evidence to prove to other people that you're good enough in their view, so that that can become your own personal view. Because you're not depending on your own view inside, like who you actually are and who you're aligned
Yes.
to. That's not what you're depending on. You're like, oh, I when I have this amount of money, I get to be like, hey, mom or whomever, I made this money, so now I'm finally successful, right? And then the mom who's terrible goes, you're still a disappointment. I love your sister who's like a crack whore and la la la, which is probably a thing that actually doesn't happen. And then the person goes, oh, so I'm not successful, even though they're like rich and have mansions or whatever, right? And it's like, well,
Yeah.
you'd think the proof would be that, well, you literally have bajillions of dollars. Is that not proof enough for you? And they're like, no, because they depend on the other person to tell them what their reality is. And for gay men, that's like such a big, as for everybody, but like for gay men, it's such a, and queer people, it's such a reality that that we're depending on others to tell us what our reality is. And then when we AIDS crisis happened, we lost a good amount of people to actually be like forebears for us to like teach us shit or whatever, as we emerged into young adulthood. And so we didn't have like a very good solid foundation of like, hey, this is what you don't have to deal with anymore, and you can validate within yourself. That was kind of, it's out the window. It's like high school all over again in its own weird way. I mean, I met 43-year-old men who I had sex with when I was like 22, and they acted like fucking babies, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Why am I the adult? I'm supposed to be the kid. Isn't that the whole fucking role play right now? So like, but just depending on that,
Yeah,
everybody
man.
else's validation. So my viewpoint is like seeking validation or seeking evidence means that it's actually for other people. Even if you say it's for yourself, it's for other people. Because when you're actually doing something for yourself and what you want, and what I've been discovering within this, like going to the gym or doing therapy, uh, brain spotting therapy. Shout out Dr. Mike. Anybody who ever wants to contact him, he's great. You just let me know. But like doing those things and like eating particular things and like how much I'm eating and noticing whatever, like oh, am I full? Oh, I am full. And like becoming more attuned with my body through the process with you. I mean, really a lot of this is because of you, and what we've done together and how I'm actually listening and witnessing and aligning and all the things. um it's like it doesn't feel like, oh, see, I did this yesterday and I talked to Ed and that made me feel better. And so now I know I'm fixed. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, well, this feels good. Okay, well, what's next now? And then not having to be like, there's this regimen that I have to follow. It's like I'm just being, I'm just existing, and I'm being present with myself. And it's not like I'm 100% like, and I'm here, and the atoms, I'm touching the atoms, and I can see everything. It's like, I still think, about the future and the past or whatever. But like, and I have ADHD clearly. So it's just that like being present and being in the moment of being, it doesn't feel like, oh, I managed to do this. And so now I'm doing better. It's like, oh, I feel better. The end, you know? Oh, I like that I did
Mm.
this.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like, and then you're just kind of like internally like joy driven, I guess,
Yeah, man. I think you
something like
made
that.
7 good points in a squiggly way. Well done. No, that was really good, Zach. Um, there's something magical about being present that helps you to simply not care what your mind thinks so much. And then you don't ever answer the question of whether or not you're good. You simply go, oh, that's a silly question. And then you start focusing on
Hmm.
what you actually want to be and who you want to be and how you want to live. And when you simply do that, you don't need an answer to the question of whether or not you're good. You just feel good and you feel belonging and you like men. And so you're like, hey, do you want to party? And they're like, no. And you're like, cool, I'll ask that guy because I want to party. And then you're like, hey, girls, do you want to do stuff? You just get on with living and being yourself and being a complete human being. And actually, that brings us all great satisfaction. Awesome. Well done, Zach. Thank you for that discussion. I thought it was excellent. Now we
Yes,
have
I think
the
you
next
did
segment
just
is Cool
okay.
Gate. Oh, cheers. Yeah,
Sorry.
no, I'll take that.
I
That's
think there's a little bit of a
yep.
delay.
Yeah, a little bit. All good.
Yeah.
Next segment is Cool Gay Shit. And I know that you prepared one. Actually, one has popped into my head just yesterday. I've just finished 2 weeks of hanging out with and being around my nephews, who are like 2 and
Mm.
4. So lots of your stories about foreheads bumping into nutsacks is very relevant.
Great.
um, we were watching Pokemon Concierge on TV, so it was on like the kids channel or whatever on Netflix.
Hmm.
And this show, it inspired me a little bit. It's another angle of the same stuff, but I really love the way it demonstrated, like, and it translates the song because it's sung in Japanese, but it's like, come to this
Hmm.
island, you don't need a phone or a watch. Your job is to relax and stop and to just simply find your joy. And at first, you'll feel lost and feel like you want a map, but eventually with time your true self you'll find your true self and your joy will and happiness will return to you. I was like, oh fuck, they actually just said it out loud. It's gorgeous. So if anyone is like feeling burnt out, on a rabbit wheel, lacking direction, overthinking, anxious, stuck, just go watch Pokemon Concierge. It's this gorgeous claymation and felt tactile gentle show. um yeah, that's my. It's not even gay, but a lot of gays. Apparently, there's an emerging trend we're discovering that queerness is close to autisticness, and most people who like really like Pokemon probably are autistic, a little bit. Um, and so yeah, I that's the tenuous link to gayness I'm going to present for people to enjoy Pokemon Concierge. You don't even have to like Pokemon just to watch the way the show unfolds. And give yourself a fucking break. I'm such a criminal of not giving myself a break and burning out. And probably, yes, it's still stemming from a place of like striving to be good or good enough and prove that to myself in some way. Even though I feel like I've done so much of this work for so long, there's still echoes of that kind of behavior kicking around. But I'd much rather do a lot of something than just sit and like, I haven't found nirvana and I don't know anyone who has. So regardless of how much meditating and loving myself unconditionally, which I totally achieved, um, I still want more. So I tell my clients, like, do the whole nirvana thing, have the nihilism shower where you're like, yeah, nothing really matters. So I get to make up my own meaning, accept the past, quiet down the stories, get on with living, and then really get on with living. Um, and yeah, Pokemon Concierge shows you how to live with happiness while you can also get on with work, etc., etc. Check it out. Zach, what's your cool gay shit for today?
fucking love Pokemon so much. So I guess I am autistic, everybody. So there you go. But
Probably.
see, Japanese people are on it sometimes. It's like so interesting their emotional depth that they go to with like anime and shit like that. And then you have their society as it is. You're like, okay. But it's just
I heard
amazing.
the original creator of Pokemon is absolutely autistic. He's also like really functional and capable. But yeah, the original 150 and creating that game is like this
Yeah.
epic ordeal, and he didn't get approval. He had to borrow money off his dad and Nintendo. This guy gave him like money under the table unofficially,
Hmm.
so that he could keep producing Pokemon because eventually he'd give him a chance. Amazing story, but yeah, the creator is autistic, so there probably is a
Well,
correlation.
there you go. That's actually didn't know that part. He actually anyway, I'm about to go off another rabbit hole, but with Pokemon. But I guess my cool gay shit. Even though I'm like
It's,
Pokemon's pretty
it's
great, and that's so true.
it's
I love the
tempting,
map
isn't it? Do
thing
you want to
because
tell
it's
us?
so
Do you want,
it's no, but the map thing
what?
was so on point because it's so good. Uh, because that's how it feels when you start doing this shit. Anyway, so for everybody who likes to read books, the Katie Edwards, it's a tarot sequence, is what the technical is called. But the first book is The Last Sun, and it's a gay author, and it is probably one of the best. It's not epic fantasy, but so it's like easier to read, but it is fucking excellent. And Brand is my fucking sexy favorite character, and I want to be with him for real, for real. But it's like it's not like M for M, is it M4M romance, whatever. It's a full blown fleshed out story with a lot of trauma, and it makes me cry, and it's so great. He only has the first three books out and then an addendum because COVID like limited the amount of pages he could print for the third book. But it's supposed to be like a 9 book series, and it's just so excellent and wonderful, and it's all these different queer representations and people of color and all these things. And it's just it's got like classism in there. It's just so fucking good. And it's got a lot of magic. And it's really well written. And I love it so much. I've actually listened to it like 2 times over, and I'm about to start it for a third time. So, but every time I've tried to suggest it to people, only 2 people I've known have listened to it on Audible, which I also strongly suggest because the narrator is fucking excellent too. Uh, and yes, so Katie Edwards, The Last Son, you should get on that. Katie-Edwards.com. That's his thing, Go look it up because it's fucking great. And I don't think I've read a lot of gay books, and this definitely takes the cake, honestly. So go do that. Even if you don't like fantasy, you'll like it. Literally, my mother read it. She's like, oh my God, it's so great. So do it.
Nice, nice. Does it start with the last son or the
Yeah, The
separation?
Last Son. So The Last Son is The Last Sun, SUN. So
Yeah,
that's book one.
just got it.
Separation. There you just-
The
Yay.
starts of a line, because I have 3 Audible credits, and I've just been telling people like I'm almost through this fantasy book that not gay characters, but it's really excellent. I'm like, damn, I got to prioritize this shit in my life. I really love it, and I'm gonna be getting on my
Mm-hmm.
treadmill listening to this. I love a good gay character in a fantasy, and the way you just described it as like it's not just M4M romance, which frankly I like, let's not lie,
I mean, I
but
like
an
it too.
actual story with actual characters. Do they also have sex? Is it sexy at times?
I believe it's not until the second book that you have a sex scene.
Spoilers.
Yeah, but a
Is the
sex scene, we don't know who it's
society?
with. Okay.
Ooh, is it
Ooh.
a society that shuns gays, or is it like a fantastic alternative universe that loves gays?
I believe I guess it's not completely frowned upon. Yeah, no, I think it's more open, but it's not like quite like woohoo, you know. It's set in our world,
Yeah.
but it's in Atlantis. So Atlantis got discovered, the world destroyed Atlantis. So now they're like up in somewhere in America, like off the coast or whatever on an island. I forget which island it is. It's been a while. But it's like, hey, it's like half of Massachusetts, you know, or whatever. And they have like this thing going on. Yeah, it'll make sense. It's actually until the second book that you kind
Okay.
of understand the structure of everything, to be honest. So, hold out for that. But yeah.
Ah, constant mystery. Yeah, 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 yeah. Nice. It's like a 90s 2000s anime where it causes you to ask 1,000 questions and gives you no answers for quite a while.
Yes. And that, yeah. But it's like, but it gives you enough answers that way you like it, everybody. So that you're like, oh, okay, I like what's happening. And then you're like, oh, okay. But
The
oh God, it's
mystery.
so fucking good. It's so well written. He's so great.
Sweet. I can
It's
tell
so
you're
good. Oh,
really in
and
love with
then,
it. I hope I will be too
yeah.
soon.
I'm sure you will. I
Yeah.
hope, I pray. That can be a part of the curriculum
Awesome.
with you
Thank
at
you.
Brown Bear School. Will be like, and you must read these books to be a part of, to be
There's
fully
a few
healed.
books I'd recommend. Yeah, I don't know if you heard the episode, but me and Ben early on, when it was still Brown Bear Radio instead of Fully Gay Radio, we talked about
Hmm.
Wolf Song by TJ Klune and how that felt incredibly healing.
Love.
Like it made me cry a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it actually just was a positive representation with role models or examples of how a family and gay people can just exist and live and be themselves and do themselves and do each other. Am I
Yeah.
right? I'm
Yeah.
right.
Yes, totally. Yeah. Hmm.
Awesome.
Hmm.
All right. Well, hey, Zach, I want to thank you very, 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 very much for being the co-host this week. You might even be back in another episode or two very soon because Ben is on hiatus doing life things. And yeah, thank you very, very much for taking the time and injecting us with your passion into our ear holes. And I look forward to more of it. And I appreciate you. So thank you for your time and effort. Excellent.
Thank you. And I
Any
appreciate
response,
you
Zach?
for everything.
You are average,
Sorry.
Ed, and I have enjoyed it a bit. Yeah. No,
No,
I've
can
had an
you not
okay
hear
time.
me?
No, I can. I'm sorry. I'm just talking over you.
Oh, okay. I'm like, holy shit, did I cut out? Yes, no, thank you so much. I appreciate everything. And I really like doing this. I love talking, obviously. So this is good for me. And I like talking about this shit. And everybody who's listening, I hope that you had a nice, easy time understanding everything I said as quickly as I do. So,
Honestly, Zach, you're quite comprehensible. I know that I mentioned to you the whole ADD thing, but you're quite comprehensible. I enjoy you, so thank you just for being
okay.
you.
Tell Ed that I should be here all the time then. Great. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, sure thing. Alrighty, everybody. That's
Thank you.
your buttload for the week. You can join us at skool.com/gay, school.com/gay. That is where the fully gay community is. As Zach mentioned, the Witness, Accept, Align lessons, and so much more. The A Gay Man book, the workshops, the community page where people chit chat back and forth is all available for free. I will harass you a little bit, though, to see if you are interested in the professional coaching paid service that Zach has been through, and many, 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 many men have been through now. You can check out my Google reviews. Just search Brown Bear Coaching. And if going from dissatisfied, frustrated, and feeling lost to confident, connective, and clear sounds like something that would be very valuable and important to you real soon, I'd love to hear from you in particular, and we can set up a chat and see if you want to do the paid service as well. So as always, thank you very much for listening. Share this with a friend if you enjoyed it. Thank you, Zach, for taking part with us. And everybody go have a fantastic day and life. Cheers.
Do it. Goodbye, everybody.